The one thing, and I do mean the one thing that people don't teach well enough, is the fact that in an argument or a disagreement, both of you can be right. No one ever teaches you how to deal with things like that. And so you can grow up in a toxic household, and all you know is arguments. And all of a sudden, you're placed in a healthy environment, and you don't even know how to express negative emotions without it turning into an argument. And so now it's a self fulfilling prophecy where you turn into your parents not because you want to be better than them, but because of the fact that you've never learned that both parties can be right. Yes, you and your daughter, you or your partner, you or whoever, you or your son can both be right on a single situation. It's just about the way y'all go about things. That's the thing that y'all will disagree on, right? And we've never been taught, okay, how can we handle a situation if both parties are right? There's no wrong in how we think, especially with how we came up. But we want to convey to that other party, hey, consider this point of view before you make that decision. And sometimes it's not even that simple. Sometimes y'all just can't see eye to eye, especially on serious situations. But in those types of situations, when both parties are listening to each other, realize that that is not an argument. That is a disagreement based on what they know, they feel, and what they believe, especially when no wrong has been done. Matter of fact, here's a clear example. Literally how you would take out the trash. You would just leave the bin out there on the driveway because it's easier for you to walk to the driveway and take the trash there. But your parents or a step parent may say otherwise. They may want you to bring it back because they, in their eyes, think that it's easier for you to dump the trash and then pull it in. Again, it becomes an issue when that parent thinks your way is wrong. And instead of seeing your point of view, they're going to continuously argue why they're right and you're wrong. That is when a disagreement becomes an argument. When one party thinks they're right, when both parties are right. Y'all are just having a disagreement in how you go about things. And so when you realize that, you start to see who is disagreeable with and who will more likely start an argument. Right? Because if you know that both of you are right, and this is just a thing of preference, then what is there to even argue about? And again, the only time it will blow up into an argument is when that person thinks that they're right. Again, when a person thinks that they're right in an argument that is supposed to be a disagreement, that is when that person is in the wrong. And a person who you can clearly have a discussion with and y'all can disagree with is a person who can see your point of view, acknowledge it straight to you, but also bring up their points as well. And that is how you have a healthy disagreement. You will see this constantly in constructive criticism, as well as creative differences. There is no wrong way of creating art, but the disagreement is how that art is supposed to be interpreted and how it's supposed to be shaped, how it's supposed to be in heavy quotes. Say, for example, you working with an artist, right? And you both are working on a composition. You might want to keep a certain portion of that song mellow based on your type of cadence. Another person, on the other hand, might want to go a little bit higher with it, at least for a specific portion of that song. And again, it will not blow up into an argument. It's just going to be a disagreement in how they interpret the art. And when you realize that, you start to see how they'll still disagree and it'll become assertive. But there will not be any levels of disrespect unless somebody crosses that line. When someone crosses that line, that's when arguments begin. Either that or that person just insists that their way is the right way. Other than that, that disagreement will play out smoothly. And 10 times out of 10, either one or both of you will find a compromise. You may scrap it and try something new because y'all constantly disagree about how something is supposed to be. In all honesty, it all leads back to this. Disagreements don't mean that you're going to be in an argument. You see different views, but that doesn't mean you don't love that person. No one, and I truly mean, especially in my own household, no one has ever taught me this. No one has really explicitly said that it's okay to disagree. Y'all can be wrong. I wouldn't even say y'all can be wrong. You both can be right on the same exact thing, but the way y'all go about it, that is what y'all will have a disagreement about. No one has ever taught me that. And so if you never address that, you're gonna constantly argue with a person without realizing why you are arguing. And even if you realize why you're arguing, you're gonna argue with a person who always feels like they're right in the situation. When instead, if you know that a person is going to disagree with you, and you know that at the end of the day, they'll still love you, they'll still care for you, or at the very least, there's still no hard feelings, then that's a person you can trust. That's a person you can trust. Right? Because that shows how both of you can express negative emotions in terms of aggression and how the tones are. And yet, y'all can still be cool. There won't be no hard feelings. And the only way you learn this is if you are aware as an adult, or if your parents taught you this. I will say again, you will either learn this as an adult or you will be taught this as a child. And anyone that grew up in a toxic household or a toxic upbringing know that that is never spoken to you or to your siblings. And that shows in how you interact with your family, your friends, and everyone else. Instead of just lightheartedly, I wouldn't even say lightheartedly, just disagreeing, having it feel like an argument, but not really. Not even feel like an argument, just have it feel intense, but knowing that at the end of the day, you still love that person. And that's what's never addressed in a household, and really within yourself. How are you supposed to know if someone loves you if you don't know the difference between a disagreement and an argument? I repeat, how are you supposed to know that someone loves you if you do not know the difference between a disagreement and an argument? I repeat, how will you know that someone loves you if you don't know the difference between a disagreement or an argument? And I'm gonna leave this off by saying this. Kids, and specifically Gen Z, my generation, listen up. To those of you who know you have loving and caring parents, but you do not see eye to eye with them, learn and try to understand that both of you are right in the situation. And if they feel like that they are right, it's okay to distance. Because they can love you, but if it'll always blow up into an argument because they feel like they're right, then you have to separate, no matter how much you love it. If it's your parents, your siblings, even your friends and lover, and you just can't see eye to eye on something, or if every disagreement turns into an argument, it's okay to go no contact with them. Again, I'm not saying don't ever pick up the phone. All I'm saying is it's okay for you to separate from people that always feel like they're right. And it's okay to surround yourself with people who acknowledge your point of view and will also let you know their point of view as well. Because that's how growth between two beings personally happens. No matter if it's a creative endeavor, a family issue, heck, if even as simple as planning a single day trip. The fact that y'all can disagree and you know that both of you aren't right in what y'all are choosing, and it's just about preference, then you know you can have hard conversations with that person. And when you know you can have hard conversations with that person, that's when a trust and bond really forms. When personal connection happens, it usually happens when there are disagreements, where both of you know that each other are right. But because of y'all point of views, y'all tend to disagree. But the love and care is still there. And I'm gonna leave it at that. And as always, stay peaceful, blessed, a miracle up, and know that you will appreciate what's taken care of by divine one above all, our high source, God, as well as everyone that truly and genuinely and deeply cares about you deeper than their souls. Always remember that here you are loved. We care about you here. If no one else does, we do. I do. Know that no matter what, we're always here to give you that listening ear. Don't be afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk with us. We're always here for you when you need us. Community tab is always on my YouTube. Hit it up. We'll listen when everyone else ignore you. We are here to hear you. You are heard, you are listened to, and you are seen. And know that someone loves you. And if no one does, I do. Okay? And don't forget to smile. Okay? Now come in for this hug. Yeah, come in. And it's always a shape he said.